Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sides with House bill to penalize school districts that required masks. The Volusia County School District could lose nearly $3.2 million in funding for imposing a mask mandate. The district responded by saying, "Our lawyers are looking into this. They do not believe that we should be a part of this group of alleged violators, and all they could say is that they only had masks for a short time while it was permitted by the courts." Superintendent Scott Fritz even went ahead and called some Florida senators asking for Volusia County schools to be removed from the Dirty Dozen list. This is a list of school districts who broke the law during this time and imposed a mask mandate, and his reasoning for this was that we only violated the law for 3 days. You try that next time you break the law. So let's look at what laws did the school board violate during this time, and what did the parents have on their side that they were fighting for. The Parental Bill of Rights that was signed by Ron DeSantis on June 29th, 2021. With only a month later, Executive Order 21-175 filed by DeSantis on July 30th. This clearly mentions that if a district school board is unwilling to comply with state law, the state board shall have authority to withhold the transfer of state funds, among other things. This also prevents government institutions from infringing on the rights of a parent to direct the upbringing, education, and health care of mental health of a child. Pursuant to Florida law, all parents have the right to make healthcare decisions for their minor child. This means the school board officially knew about this potential to lose money by imposing a mask mandate on July 30th. That's 30 days before they made a decision that would ultimately have repercussions going against their pay. So why did the school board choose to break the law anyways? Despite the Parental Bill of Rights, the executive order, and despite the protests and many parents that came out to speak against the mandates. This was because on August 24th, during an online hearing, a Leon County judge, John Cooper, agreed with a group of parents that DeSantis' order was unconstitutional and could not be enforced. Cooper argued that the state had failed to prove that an appeal would be successful. DeSantis disagrees with that ruling and immediately files an emergency appeal. Even the school board lawyer said, "There is so much conflict here in executive orders, statutes, and your constitutional duties. All I can advise you to do is what you believe is the correct thing for students."
You know, you guys want to hold an emergency meeting, you can hold an emergency meeting, but I'm not going to break the law.
An emergency meeting was held, and the school board decided to approve in a vote of 3-2 to instate a mask mandate with a 3-day grace period. Jamie Haynes and Anita Burnette were the only champions for freedom of parental choice, voting against the mask mandate. 9 days later, after the school board imposes a mandate, DeSantis wins his appeal. This forced the Volusia County School Board to walk back its mask mandate and go to an opt-out policy, where at the time chairman of the Volusia County School Board had some words to say.
I guess we have to trust our parents. We have to trust our parents to do what is best for their
Instead,
children.
parents had the option to opt their child out from wearing a mask by a printable form or through the online student portal. This opt-out option did not go against the Parental Bill of Rights. But interestingly enough, the school board already had the paper and electronic system in place ready to activate later that night. So where does this money come from, this $3.2 million? Well, the Florida House Committee last week stated that it would cut the salaries of administrators earning more than $100,000. This would not reduce any funding for direct educational services or resources that impact the education of kindergarten through grade 12 students. This would include our very own superintendent, Scott Fritz, who makes over $203,000 a year, not including bonuses, and was also given a raise during COVID. His retirement package is also based off his highest 5 years of salary. So let's see what Superintendent Fritz had to say about masks.
Mike Grego, the superintendent, stood in front of everybody and said, "Get vaccinated, take responsibility for your kids, put a face mask on them." No different than your superintendent. And I'll continue to say it. I think it's bad parenting when people don't do it.
So when you see people, part of the school district like Scott Fritz and Carl Persis, that do not believe they should be fined even though they broke the law for 3 days, just remember, they knew about this months ago. They just chose to ignore the parents and the laws for their own self-interest.